Abandoned starport purchased by human. 2 days later, the real owner appears. Captain Elias Kane leaned back in his chair and rubbed his tired eyes. He had been flying between star systems for weeks, searching for opportunities, small chances that no one else noticed. Most humans would have avoided the lonely sector he now studied, but Elias had always liked the forgotten corners of the galaxy. They were quiet. They were cheap. And sometimes they held treasures no one expected. On his holoscreen, a faded listing flickered. It showed a starport, abandoned, rusting, and officially declared worthless. The price was almost laughable. Just a few thousand galactic credits. For a functioning starport? Anyone else would have laughed at the thought. But Elias didn't laugh. He smiled. "This could work," he said to himself. "They say it's dead. I say it's full of life if you know what to do." His small crew, 3 humans and 1 service droid, watched him from the table. "Are you serious, Captain?" asked Lyra, his second-in-command. Her eyes were sharp, her hair tied in a practical braid, and her voice carried both skepticism and amusement. "That place hasn't been used in decades. The reports say the docking bays are collapsing. The systems are offline. The walls are full of corrosion." "And did I mention the galactic authorities officially abandoned it?" Elias laughed softly. "Exactly. That's why it's perfect. No aliens will be paying attention. No bureaucrats, no corporations. It's ours for a fraction of what it's worth." "You keep saying ours, but do you even know if the title is clean?" Lyra asked. "I checked twice," Elias replied. "All papers are in order. Legal claim. No disputes. No hidden liens. And it's cheaper than a used freighter." He leaned forward, eyes glinting. "We take this port, and we turn it into something useful. Maybe a hub, maybe a base, maybe a trading post. Who knows? The point is, nobody else will ever see it coming." The crew looked uncertain, but Elias had a way of making risks feel like opportunities. Slowly, nods appeared around the table. Even Jax, the gruff engineer who normally complained about everything, gave a small, reluctant smile. "All right, Captain," Jax said. "If we're doing this, we better hope it's not a death trap." Elias tapped the holoscreen. "Trust me, it's going to be an adventure." 2 days later, the starport appeared in view. It sat in orbit around a small, dim planet, half in shadow. From a distance, it looked like nothing more than a skeleton of metal, broken docks and rust-colored patches. A few small lights flickered weakly, long abandoned. The shuttle docked with a careful clunk. Dust and debris floated in zero gravity around the hangar bay, shining faintly under the dim lights. The air smelled of old machinery and neglect. Elias led the crew down the ramp. He moved slowly, taking in every detail. The walls were scratched, panels hung loose, and the old service bots lay scattered like forgotten toys. Yet beneath the decay he saw potential. "This is going to be beautiful," he said quietly. Lyra raised an eyebrow. "You mean it's going to be functional again? Not beautiful?" "Don't get poetic on me now." Elias smiled. "Maybe both." The team split up to explore. Jax went straight for the engineering bay. He ran his fingers along the consoles, pressing buttons that sparked slightly but did not ignite. Lyra checked the docking systems, making sure nothing would collapse if a ship tried to land. And Elias climbed the stairs to the command tower. From the top he could see the entire starport. Empty docking bays stretched in every direction. Old cargo cranes stood still, and the planet below looked peaceful in its blue and gray light. Yet something inside him stirred. He imagined ships coming in and out, merchants and travelers, a humming, living hub where now there was only silence. "Imagine it full of life," he muttered. And then the sensors on his console blinked. A sudden energy spike somewhere in the lower bays. He frowned. "Captain, you okay?" Lyra's voice came over the comm.
"Yeah," Elias replied, watching the screen. "Just something is moving down here. I'll check it out."
In the lower cargo bay, a small service bot stirred. It had been offline for years, but now, somehow, a spark of energy brought it to life. Its optical sensor blinked red, then blue, and it wheeled forward slowly. "Looks like we're not entirely alone," Elias said, more to himself than anyone else. Jax came down the stairs, hands on his tool belt.
A bot? You mean a piece of junk? Hardly worth noticing. This isn't just any bot, Elias said. Look at the design.
Earth origin. Advanced programming. Somehow it survived all these years without maintenance. The bot whirred, scanning the crew, then stopped. A mechanical voice, rough but functional, said, "New operators detected. Authorization?" Elias grinned. "We are the new operators. You will follow our commands."
Understood?
Understood, the bot replied. Lyra shook her head.
"You're already talking to it like it's a person. Better a friend than an enemy," Elias said. Over the next few hours, the crew began making small repairs. Lights flickered back on, doors unlocked, and some systems started humming. The old Starport, which had been silent for decades, began to stir. Elias walked the corridors, running his hands over the walls. Each scratch and dent told a story. Ships that had docked, travelers who had passed through, maintenance crews long gone. He imagined restoring each part, making it functional again, but keeping its history alive. "This is going to take time," Lyra said. "But
I see your vision, Captain.
you really think we can make this place live again?" Elias nodded.
We can. We will.
"And not just functional. Better than anyone imagined. Humans are good at taking broken things and making them work." "That's what we do," Jax grunted. "Or blow something up trying." Elias laughed. "Possibly, but the key word is try, and we are excellent at trying." As night fell over the planet below, the starport's lights glowed softly. The team gathered in the central hub, tired but satisfied with the day's work. For the first time, the silence felt alive, as if the port itself welcomed them. Elias stood in the middle, looking around at his crew. "Tomorrow we begin real work. We'll check the light support systems, the power cores, the docking bays. We'll make this place ours, not by breaking it but by fixing it, improving it, giving it a new purpose." Lyra nodded. "And what if someone shows up? If this port isn't as abandoned as we think?" Elias smiled, his eyes glinting in the dim light. "Then we deal with it. Humans always find a way." At that moment, the sensors blinked again. A stronger energy reading this time, approaching fast. Elias leaned over the console, watching. "Interesting," he muttered. "Looks like we're about to find out if the galaxy agrees with us about this port." The team exchanged uneasy glances. Something, or someone, was coming, and whatever it was, it would change everything they thought they knew about the abandoned starport. Elias grinned. 2 days after purchase and already excitement. "I love this job." The energy signature grew brighter, closer. The port, long forgotten, was about to meet the unexpected. And Captain Elias Kane, human among the ruins of alien neglect, was ready. The sensors on the starport blinked constantly, red warning lights pulsing through the corridors. Captain Elias Kane stood in the command tower, his hands resting lightly on the rail, eyes scanning the holoscreen. "Something's approaching fast," he said. Lyra leaned over his shoulder, frowning. "It's big. Bigger than any cargo ship I've seen. And sleek. Very sleek." Jax, who was tinkering with the main power relay, muttered, "Great! Just when I thought this place couldn't get more complicated." Elias didn't answer. He was already calculating. Whoever was coming could be friend or foe. But after 2 days of surveying the starport, he felt confident. They were ready. Mostly. The approaching ship appeared on the holo in full view. A long, slender cruiser, black with silver streaks that shimmered in the light of the distant star. Its design was elegant, advanced, almost alive. It radiated authority, not aggression. Yet anyone who had faced alien warships before knew that appearances could be deceiving. "Scan it," Elias ordered. The ship's energy signature was off the charts. Its shields were strong, engines far beyond anything in the sector. Whoever piloted it knew exactly what they were doing. The shuttle doors opened and the crew readied themselves. The port's sensors picked up a series of communication signals, sophisticated, encoded, and unlike any human language. The service bot, which had reactivated the day before, beeped and whirred. "Unknown entity detected. Non-hostile but highly advanced," it announced.
Non-hostile, maybe, Elias muttered. Let's see what they want. The alien cruiser docked smoothly with the port, silent and precise.
Its landing clamps clicked into place, locking onto the station with a perfect alignment. For a moment, the starport seemed to hold its breath. The airlock opened, and a figure stepped out. Vera. She was taller than most humans, with smooth, copper-colored skin and eyes that seemed to see everything at once. Her movements were fluid, precise, almost like a dancer's. She wore a uniform that marked her rank clearly. The real owner of this starport, the one who had abandoned it long ago and now returned. Elias stepped forward, holding his hands open in a gesture of peace. "I'm Captain Elias Kane. I purchased this port legally 2 days ago."
Welcome, I guess.
Vera's eyes narrowed. "Purchased? You dare claim this property?" Her voice carried a musical but firm tone. "This station is mine by birthright and authority." "Your documents." She paused, her gaze scanning the station. "The crew, even the flickering lights, do not concern me yet." "You are trespassing." Lyra stepped forward cautiously. "Captain, maybe we should—" "No," Elias said firmly. "Let her speak, and then we'll figure out what to do." Vera continued, her tone sharp but controlled. "I see that the port is functioning, but how?" "I left it abandoned. Every system, every bot, every mechanism was shut down decades ago." "You claim to have brought it to life?" Elias smiled, shrugging lightly.
We didn't bring it to life.
"We let it remember. Humans are good at repairing things, fixing what others think is broken, even things you might have forgotten." Her gaze sharpened. "Humans are reckless. Sometimes," Elias admitted, "but we're also clever. And persistent. And a little crazy when necessary. That's why this port is alive again." Vera studied him, silence stretching in the dimly lit command tower. She had underestimated the human race. She had always thought them primitive, predictable, limited. But here was one bold enough to purchase her starport, skilled enough to reactivate systems she assumed lost forever. "Show me," she said finally, her tone softer but commanding. "Show me what you have done." The crew guided Vera through the port. Lights glowed steadily along corridors, old service bots scuttled to life, and docking bays opened smoothly. The starport hummed with energy it had not felt in decades. Jack showed her the engineering bay. Panels repaired, conduits rerouted, and the power core operating at a steady, optimal level. Vera raised an eyebrow at his makeshift modifications. "These modifications," she said. "They are unconventional. Risky, but effective."
Jax grinned.
"Humans are like that. If it works, it works." Vera's eyes drifted over the central hub, where Elias explained how they had restored communication arrays, reactivated life support, and checked every docking bay for safety. "You took what was broken and made it functional," she said slowly, almost to herself. "I never expected this." Elias shrugged. "I like to surprise people." Lyra whispered to Elias, "Careful, Captain. She's not convinced yet. This could go badly if she decides she wants it back." Forcefully. Elias nodded. "That's why we show her it's better this way. Humans don't just take. We improve. We add value." "Maybe she'll see that." Vera paused in the main hangar. "I left this place because it was useless. I thought nothing could make it valuable again. But now," her gaze swept over the functioning port, the lights, the humming engines, the busy crew. "Humans have proven me wrong." Elias stepped closer. "See? You underestimated us."
And that's okay, but now you know.
And we can work together instead of against each other. Vera studied him, her expression unreadable. She had never seen a human behave like this. Bold, confident, respectful, and yet entirely unconcerned with the usual alien formalities that dominated negotiations. She sensed a strength in him, a quality rare even among her own species.
You claim authority through law, she said finally.
I claim it through birthright, yet you have brought life where I left only decay.
You have ingenuity, something I did not anticipate from your kind. Elias grinned. We get that a lot. People assume we're weak or unskilled. Then we show them the truth.
Vera's lips curved slightly. Perhaps we shall see how far your truth extends. Suddenly, alarms rang through the starport. Red lights flashed. Sensors detected multiple ships approaching the system. Incoming traffic, Lyra shouted, scanning the readings. Several small craft.
They're armed! Elias's heart quickened. Pirates? Scavengers?
This station is tempting now. They must have detected the activity.
Vera's expression hardened. Your presence has made this station known.
That is acceptable. We will deal with them. Jax grinned, pulling tools from his belt. Finally, some action. Let's see what these acceptable threats look like.
Elias turned to Vera. You stay here.
We'll handle the first wave. But maybe we should work together. You have tech I don't understand. I have tactics you might not expect. We could complement each other. Vera's eyes met his. For a moment, silence stretched. Then she nodded slightly. Very well, human. Let us see what your kind can do. But know this, I will judge your abilities. Do not disappoint me. The crew hurried to prepare. The docking base had been retrofitted with defensive turrets and sensor arrays. Elias and Vera worked side by side, human improvisation meeting alien precision. She handed him control protocols he did not fully understand, but he adapted, creating clever strategies from limited knowledge.
You improvise too much, she said sharply. But it works. Thanks, Elias said, grinning.
I call it a human talent. Adapt first, think later. Outside the port, the incoming ships slowed. They were scavengers, opportunists looking for an easy prize. They had no idea a human had purchased the port, reactivated it, and now stood ready for defense. Elias gave a signal. Turrets activated, drones whirred to life, and a series of energy shields flickered across the docking bays. The starport was ready. Vera stood beside him.
Interesting.
I underestimated humans. Perhaps there is more potential in your species than I assumed. Elias laughed softly. Stick around, and you'll see. Humans are full of surprises. Outside, the first of the scavenger ships moved in. They had chosen poorly. And so, in the abandoned starport brought back to life by human ingenuity, the uneasy alliance between human and alien began. For Captain Elias Kane, this was only the start. The real owner had arrived, and the adventure, dangerous, exciting, unpredictable, was just beginning. The alarm bells rang through the abandoned starport, echoing off the metal walls. Red warning lights flashed across every corridor, painting the once silent station in urgent urgency. Captain Elias Kane gripped the rail in the command tower, his eyes scanning the hollow display of approaching ships. "They're not waiting," Lyra shouted over the sirens. Multiple craft armed and moving fast. They must be scavengers. They saw the energy signature and came for the port. Elias exhaled sharply, then straightened. Good. Let's see how they handle humans who don't back down. Jax, the engineer, was already running down the stairs to the lower decks. I'll get the defenses online. If they want to fight, they'll get one. Vera, standing beside Elias, watched silently. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, followed every movement on the hollow. You humans are reckless, she said. But perhaps effective. Reckless? Maybe. Effective? Definitely, Elias replied with a grin. Ready?
Always, she said, her tone clipped but serious. The first of the scavenger ships appeared outside the starport. Small, fast vessels, armed with lasers and disruptor cannons. They moved in formation, confident that an abandoned port was an easy target.
Elias signaled. The port's turrets activated, low hums filling the air.
Drones lifted from hidden hangars, buzzing toward the enemy ships. And now we have a choice. We can grow stronger, welcome others, and turn this port into a beacon for the sector. The crew nodded. Jax flexed his hands, grinning. And we'll be ready for anyone who tries to stop us.
Exactly, Elias said.
We're not just surviving, we're shaping the future.
Humans always find a way. Vera stepped forward. Captain Kane, I have seen your kind in action. I have witnessed your ingenuity, your courage, and your determination. I admit that I was wrong to leave this station abandoned. But I also see that you have made it thrive in ways I could not have imagined. I offer you a partnership. Together, we will make this starport a hub of commerce, research, and diplomacy. Will you accept it?
Elias grinned. Partnership?
I thought you'd never ask. She raised an eyebrow. Do not mistake me for one who easily admires humans. This partnership requires effort, trust, and respect. Then we're already halfway there, Elias said, because humans excel at all three. The agreement was made, silently but strongly. Human creativity combined with alien technology would transform the abandoned starport into something greater than either could do alone.
Over the next several days, the station thrived.
Trade agreements were established with nearby systems. Travelers from multiple species arrived for supplies, information, and shelter. Human and alien crews worked side by side, repairing, upgrading, and expanding the station. Even the small service bots, once abandoned and forgotten, now moved with purpose, assisting in cargo handling, maintenance, and security. The starport, once dead, became alive again, and the galaxy began to notice. One evening, Elias and Vera stood on the observation deck again, watching the stars. Ships of all types docked, glided, and departed. The soft hum of the port's engines resonated through the station. You have exceeded my expectations, human, Vera said softly. Not only in restoring this port, but in creating something I could not have imagined. Humans, your kind is remarkable. Elias looked out over the bustling port, a sense of pride and satisfaction filling him. We do what we must. We fix what others leave broken. We turn challenges into opportunities. That's what humans do. That's why we survive and thrive. Vera smiled faintly, almost unnoticeably. Then I shall watch and learn, and perhaps together we shall shape more than just a starport. Perhaps we shall shape a future. Elias laughed softly. One port at a time, Vera. One port at a time. As the night stretched across the quiet star system, the starport stood glowing like a beacon. Ships moved in and out, lights reflected on the metal surfaces, and life, human, alien, mechanical, filled every corridor. The abandoned starport was no longer forgotten. It had become a symbol of ingenuity, courage, and collaboration, a testament to what humans could achieve when others had given up. Captain Elias Kane looked out into the vast expanse of space. Adventures awaited, challenges loomed, and threats would come. But he felt confident. Humans always find a way. And now, with allies like Vera, the future looked brighter than ever. He turned back to the station, a grin on his face. This is just the beginning, he said. Vera nodded beside him. Indeed, and I shall be there to witness it and perhaps learn from you along the way. The stars shone silently beyond the observation window. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and dangerous. But for the first time in decades, a small starport on the edge of a forgotten system was alive, thriving, and ready. And humans had claimed it, not through force, but through creativity, courage, and determination. The abandoned starport was no longer abandoned. It was home. It was alive. It was human.